Hello, my name is Bethany Bates. The United States Department of State estimated 24.9 million people were victims of sex trafficking in the U.S. during 2016. Human trafficking, the exploitation of an individual for labor or sexual activities, is the #1 growing crime in North Carolina, according to the North Carolina Department of Administration. During the research and interviewing stages of this project, I realized that human trafficking was a lot bigger than I had imagined, especially within my local community. I decided I wanted to address this issue and create something that would call attention to it, and also provide a way to support organizations already fighting against it. You Are There is a campaign that advocates for organizations fighting against human trafficking and spreads awareness to the local community through out-of-home advertisement. The brand name, You Were There, encourages empathy with the audience and is also meant to be a call to action. You were there for this person. You were there when they needed help. You were there in this location where trafficking occurs. It utilizes soft round type to make the campaign friendly and approachable. The color palette mainly consists of primary colors. The logo shape references Charlotte or Queen City's brand and references the location pinpoint shape coming in from multiple directions and converging to one point. This convergence is meant to tie into the brand's desire to bring local Charlotte communities together. The colors contained within the logo are mainly primary, but they overlap on each other as a means for producing secondary colors. This is to reinforce the idea of coming together, building on top of each other, transparency, and clarity. I utilize primarily black, blue, and white text to make the type more legible. There's a misconception about human trafficking only happening in faraway places. To address this, I identified a specific location where human trafficking occurs in the Charlotte area. I then created an awareness campaign catered to that specific site to call the public's attention to the potential threat. Oftentimes, human trafficking shelters rely on pre-designated funding in order to provide services and safe accommodations for survivors. I wanted to create a practical way for the community to help contribute. Small tear-off shopping lists in different categories encourage grocery store shoppers to purchase a few items while out on their errand runs. I also created a donation drop-off pop-up, collecting unwanted items and furniture to process them and then put them in safe houses for survivors. Community participants would receive a bag, a pin, and one less thing to worry about when they come to the event. My hope is that moving forward, we can all come together as a Charlotte community and prevent human trafficking. Thank you.
Welcome everyone, my name is Moitan Chico and I will be introducing to you the topic of foster care, specifically advocating for teens exiting out the foster care system. Did you know the nonprofit organization Foster America states that 1 out of every 8 teens in American foster care ends up neglected and abused before aging out the system? The foster care system is failing these teens. They are failing them to prepare them for their futures. Also, they are failing them because they lack guidance, role models, and mentors to lead them the way. In order to prevent them from getting lost and living an adverse life, they need support and care from someone they can trust. Kevin McPherson, foster care supervisor from Baptist Children's Homes of NC, expressed that they have no idea what happens to foster kids who leave the program. After they exit the program, they have no contact or communication with them. With that idea in mind, my focus became clearer on who was the main community I wanted to advocate for, which are the foster teens who have no guidance preparing for the real world. So how can we design a solution to raise awareness? Foster Hope is centered around the idea of light illuminating from the dark. With the idea that the kids are all lost in a dark place, I wanted to find a solution or a way to guide them out of the dark paths in life. The use of symbolism for light stands out well with the branding because of the use of warm colors against a dark background. Using orange and yellow tones allowed me to bring out the idea of success and happiness. I used a sans serif font for a friendly, approachable, and easy to read text. With those ideas in mind, I wanted to create a safe space for the foster teens so that they can feel comfortable with the brand. Bringing those ideas together creates an image of hope, a light of hope. This is Foster Hope's main service. It's a multifaceted and versatile website for foster teens, mentors, and people who want to learn more about Foster Hope and how to help. This will include features for mentors and teen students for preparing for their future. Communication and keeping track of teens' progress opens the door to success. For this reason, the website also serves as a place of connection for checking up on the teens' progress who have exited out the foster care system. Here's our supporting advertisement, a billboard ad to direct interested mentors to encourage them to join Foster Hope's programs of teaching and mentoring. It guides them to the website to learn more about the program. It also serves as an out-of-home campaign to reach a wider audience. And finally, this is Foster Hope's social media ad campaign. It is in the form of a comic to share a story of teens who were previously in the process of exiting out the foster care services. Having an inspiring and relatable story will show teens that there's hope for a successful future. This ad directs the teen to learn more about how to join Foster Hope's programs. Communication, success, guidance, and security are what Foster Hope stands for. Foster Hope campaign serves to prepare these teens to grow in a comfortable and engaging environment. To transition now successfully into the real world, we must advocate for bettering the lives of these teens. Together, we can make a change to prevent these teens going down the wrong path. Spread the word and be the light of hope. Thank you for your time.
My name is Amelia Marafiotti, and today I'll be telling you about Crown Navigation. Charlotte has a large population of blind and visually impaired people. Many people, such as Brad Blair, a local blind man and transit activist, feel that the public transit system does not meet their needs and desire change. Better outreach from the Charlotte Area Transit System, or CATS, more sidewalks and stops to make it safer while waiting for the bus, and audio cues at crosswalks are just a few examples. With Crown Navigation, the intent is to address needs and promote change. Crown Navigation is a campaign and application designed to do three things: raise awareness of the problems associated with traveling on public transportation while blind, promote pre-existing resources that make it easier to travel, and directly assist in making Charlotte easier to navigate for the blind and visually impaired. Crown Navigation features the royal colors of purple and gold to reflect the status of the Queen City. It uses simple and clean type and visuals, both as an accessibility feature and as an aesthetic choice, lending a modern feeling to the work. This is visible first in the Crown Navigation app. Crown Navigation aids users in planning and taking routes across the city. It utilizes the same branding as is present in the next two products, with an added focus on accessibility, pushing the contrast higher and the scale larger.
It also features voice recognition and audio narration, so that visual interaction is completely unneeded.
On first-time startup, users are presented with a choice of 4 different voice options, or to have no audio at all. They are given the opportunity to add information about their cat's past and their most used locations, home, and work. Once everything is set up, they can also store favorite addresses and search for new ones. Once a destination is chosen, the app chooses the best route. The app then walks the user through the route step by step. Next, a series of posters raises awareness of the issue. They feature first-person views to encourage empathy for the visually impaired and blind and explain the situation a bit. At the bottom, they point the viewer in the direction of the second product: twin social media accounts on Twitter and Facebook. These platforms are favored among the blind due to the high-quality accessibility features, and similarly to the platforms, these accounts post using high-contrast colors and large type to make the optimal experience for visually impaired people. Content focuses on spreading the word about various aids for the blind and visually impaired while traveling in Charlotte, including the Crown Navigation app. Together, these products work to create a safer and more accessible transportation system for the blind and visually impaired of Charlotte. The next time you're on a bus, ask yourself what might be an obstacle for someone with different visual abilities than yourself. What can you do to change that? Consider where you might find or contribute resources, and do your best to help out. Thank you for your time.
Hello, my name is Brianne Dameron. My project focuses on the difficulties faced by women who are formerly incarcerated in jails and prisons. According to the nonprofit organization Refoundry, 650,000 people are released from United States prisons annually, and 50% of those people are rearrested within 1 year of release. In addition to bearing the burden of a criminal record, which makes it incredibly difficult to find employment and stable housing, these women also struggle with mental illness, addiction, and a lack of support from not only the public, but their loved ones. I created the Lotus Project with 2 goals in mind: to provide formerly incarcerated women with the tools and support they need to empower themselves and avoid recidivism, and to share their experiences and successes with the public in order to reduce the social stigma regarding criminal records. My research started with statistics and studies, but quickly narrowed to the stories of individuals, giving me names and faces to connect with, which helped me to empathize more deeply with this community. For this reason, it was important that I design my brand and products in a way that focused on individuals rather than the community as a monolith. In order to encourage confidence and positivity, the visual design of my brand is light, feminine, and sophisticated. It was inspired by the lotus flower, which represents strength, resilience, and rebirth because it grows out of the mud to bloom at the surface of the water. The colors pink, yellow, and green were chosen as they represent femininity, optimism, and growth. The Blossom Box is a physical toolkit of resources that would be distributed to women upon release from incarceration. It includes a monthly planner, a budget planner, and 2 workbooks. The Well-Being Workbook guides women through their mental and emotional health journeys with simple daily exercises. The Financial Literacy Workbook breaks down the information necessary to help women become financially independent, which is crucial during this period of transition. Because these women have uncertain housing situations, the box itself is portable and provides space to keep other important documents and materials in a secure location. The Petals mobile app consists of 3 sections, or petals: well-being, finance, and community. The Well-Being Petal includes organizational tools like a to-do list and reminders of upcoming events. It also includes a companion to the Well-Being Workbook, which provides information and activities that expand upon the content in the book. The Finance Petal allows the user to track her budget and expenses and includes an interactive companion to its respective workbook. Finally, the Community Petal provides a space for users to connect and create a support system for sharing interests, experiences, resources, and encouragement. Finally, the Like a Lotus Instagram campaign highlights women who have been helped by the Lotus Project. It serves 2 main purposes: to attract the attention of other formerly incarcerated women so that they might find the support they need through this campaign, and to garner empathy from the public in an effort to combat misconceptions and prejudices. In conclusion, the goals of the Lotus Project are to support and empower women during the process of reentry and educate the public in order to create a more positive attitude towards second chances for people with criminal records. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kelly Starnes, and today I will be presenting designs that center financial literacy access for the families of Charlotte, North Carolina. I've designed a campaign focusing on financial literacy access for families in this region. I was shocked to learn that Charlotte ranks as the 2nd largest financial hub in the United States. Yet more than 126,000 Charlotte residents live in poverty. After talking with local families, educators, and financial literacy advocates, it became clear that rising above the poverty line was directly correlated to accessibility and financial understanding. Today, I am presenting 3 products that will provide accessible resources to the entire family through means of a native app, a booklet, and a billboard. Good Sense was designed to reach all Charlotte families, so it was critical to ensure accessibility. I tested my color palette against web content accessibility guidelines and was able to create standards for how the colors are to be applied. To create the patterns, I used a variety of line weights, geometric shapes, and graphical elements. By doing so, I was able to pull out some familiar designs found within currency to help reinforce the underlying concept of financial education. Secondly, I designed an app that provides parents and children a space to explore educational materials together. Kids can use the app to play educational games or receive an interactive lesson. The app was designed to grow with the user as it has compartmentalized age-appropriate lessons and content for users ranging from 6 all the way into adulthood. The booklet will benefit children ranging from 6 to 10 as it introduces new terms in an easy-to-understand model. By seeing the words in action, the child will learn how to incorporate these words into their own vocabulary. This will strengthen their educational foundation and prepare them for future financial decisions. The booklet uses a gridded layout for consistency and provides a revamped approach to learning financial literacy. Lastly, the billboard spreads awareness for the app by using a more subdued approach with the branding elements. This was to ensure that a driver would be able to catch the main purpose of the message while driving. To do so, I used graphic elements to help guide the eye towards the mobile app, as well as use an arrow to point and highlight the word free. This is important to encourage users to download and use the financial literacy app and ensure usability as well as promote equal access. To conclude, the overall goal is to help bring financial literacy to the parents and children of the Charlotte area. By designing products that support local families, Good Sense is investing into the local community as well as their future. Thank you.
Hola and hello. My name is Lily Barrientos, and today I will be discussing the healthcare disparities within the Latino community of Charlotte. Latinos in Charlotte. What comes to mind when you think of this? You might think of one of your favorite restaurants, maybe a store, or even a good friend. And if you're like myself, someone who has lived in Charlotte all their life, then you've seen the tremendous growth of the city. Latinos have not only helped build Charlotte, but also grow it economically. And according to Business NC, Latino spending power in North Carolina exceeds $25 billion in economic impact. These statistics show the great presence Latinos have in Charlotte. But when we take a look at the Latino healthcare statistics, well, those aren't so great. According to NC State Center for Health Statistics, Latinos have the largest percentage of uninsured adults in Charlotte. To address these large healthcare disparities, I created the health and lifestyle brand Vital. Reasons for these disparities are fear, language, ideology that there may be a home remedy, or lack of necessary paperwork for government or employer-sponsored insurance. I myself remained uninsured until the age 10. As someone who experienced these disparities firsthand, I wanted to create an easy and understandable brand that still reached the heart of the community. For this reason, the entire campaign has been created in Spanish to remove any language barriers. The pattern seen throughout the campaign is an abstract representation of traditional textiles used in many Latin American countries. Additionally, the color scheme features vibrant tones. The purpose of the Instagram account is to put a human story behind the statistic. The Instagram features real healthcare disparities that have or are happening to a Charlotte resident. To first engage the viewer, a photo of an injury will be posted. Later on, they can read the full story behind the injury, such as, "When my children were younger, neither them nor I had health insurance. My daughter desperately needed foot surgery. A family friend had a daughter of the same age and lent us their daughter's insurance." Then there will be a post featuring a resource to help solve the healthcare disparity. The Instagram campaign creates a network of shared experiences and is the first step Vital takes to create trust between the campaign and the community. The purpose of the calendar is to promote wellness starting at an individual level. Latinos have a 66 greater risk of developing type 2 diabetes. For this reason, the calendar will feature diet modifications and recipes to live a healthier lifestyle. The purpose of the website is to create a safe space for Latinos in Charlotte to find healthcare resources. Here they can view different medical insurances and clinics available to them regardless of their legal status. They can also view what they need to qualify, price points, and other important factors. There will also be a feature where they can chat anonymously with a healthcare specialist. They can also view a news tab and a health tab. Vital, a campaign for Latinos' health, because los Latinos in Charlotte son vital.
Hello, my name is Putong Hank Intasam, and today I will be presenting my campaign, Chartbox. Over the past decade, underage drinking has dropped from 34% to 23%. While the numbers have dropped, it's declining very slowly. Research shows that teenagers have tried drinking because of boredom, stress, peer pressure, low self-esteem, and depression. Growing up can be tricky, especially with teens. The world is confusing and nothing makes any sense. Teens are trying every day to figure out who they are and what they want to be, yet the world's pressures weigh upon them so heavily. As a result, many teens don't know what to do or where to turn, hence why some of them turn to alcohol for that very reason. My brand, Chatterbox, wants to give teenagers the opportunity of achieving a brighter future. Not only will they be looking for different coping mechanisms, but they will also form new bonds with other teenagers across North Carolina. I believe one of the best ways of getting through our journey is not just by ourselves, but through the bonds we create to reach that destination. These are the products that I've created. The Chatterbox website in which teenagers could go on and meet with others, a poster/billboards for teens to come across to understand what the campaign is, and lastly, a commercial. The website is designed for teenagers to share their stresses and not be scared to tell anyone. The website clarifies to anyone who joins that it prohibits any form of harassment, and if violated, the suspect will have their profile terminated. All information is anonymous, and Chatterbox will show no teenagers' personal information to the public. The posters are designed for teenagers to gain knowledge about the website. Each of these posters is intended to welcome teenagers into Chatterbox. In most of Chatterbox's designs, one can see that the trademark color is light blue. The light blue is used to make teens feel welcome into the community. The posters have teenagers interacting with each other while speaking with a therapist. It informs teens that Chatterbox is about helping teenagers and making friends. The commercial features struggling teenagers who are not getting the help they need. It sends a sad reality of what would happen if a teenager didn't get help. Here's the commercial. The bonds a teenager makes can get them through any journey and become more than what they already are. Chatterbox is here to make sure teenagers have a better future and go on to the right path. I am Hank Intasam, and thank you so much for listening to my presentation.
Hi, I'm Wesley Jory, and today I'm going to talk to you about veterans' mental health and my brand, Supporting the Strong. According to the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, in the United States an average of 20 veterans die by suicide each day. Of those 20, only 6 of them ever reach out for help with mental health. I was drawn to this community because I have friends that are veterans, and listening to them talk about their personal experiences with mental health and getting help for it made me want to do something to help out others in their situation. That is why I created Supporting the Strong. Supporting the Strong focuses on encouraging Charlotte's veteran population that there is no weakness in reaching out for help when you need it, as well as advocating for veterans' mental health and spreading awareness of the issue. In order to most effectively design for the community, I connected with several veterans to gather their perspectives and experiences in dealing with this issue. It's important to engage with members of the community so that you can empathize with the issues that they face. Supporting the Strong was constructed from the ground up with veterans in mind. Their perspectives of fighting for each other in combat as well as fighting for each other's mental health are what made the brand what it is. The logo was created with a bold yet approachable type and constructed in a squared fashion to communicate the strength and resilience of the veterans that face these issues. The color palette references the American flag, easily recognizable as an organization with veterans at the focus. There are 2 shades of blue that relate to healthcare and work together to convey a sense of tranquility, trust, and dependability. The first product I have created is the Supporting the Strong website. The website features a resources tab with the most helpful and up-to-date resources for veterans, as well as articles where relevant news and information can be found. There is also a Connect page that hosts a place for events from Supporting the Strong and other organizations where veterans can get involved and connect with each other, as well as with the organization itself. Finally, there is an About page where users can learn more about the brand. The second product is a series of social media stories that are designed to be easily shareable to reach a wider audience. The language references military terminology and connects with veterans' loved ones to encourage them to help them along their mental health journey. Each story is linked so that when users swipe up on them, it leads to the Supporting the Strong website. The third product I have created is an out-of-home campaign that allows for Supporting the Strong's message to actively move around the city and reach a wider audience. It consists of a vinyl wrap for CATS buses, the light rail train, as well as posters to be placed at bus and train stops. The campaign focuses on veterans supporting veterans and getting mental health help. The imagery is carefully selected to allow veterans to see themselves or a friend in the scenarios depicted. These 3 products serve to encourage veterans in Charlotte to reach out for mental health help when they need it and advocate for those around them to help them along their journey. Thank you for your time, and thank you for supporting the Strong.
Hello, my name is Hannah Martin. Today I will be talking about teacher retention in North Carolina and how design can be used to help this growing issue by advocating for these teachers. North Carolina is ranked 33rd in the nation for average teacher salaries. This is directly caused by lack of state allocated funding, inadequate raises, lack of growth opportunities, and lack of new teacher support. I created STARK, supporting teachers with advocacy, resources, and compensation to address these issues, and 3 products to promote STARK's goals. My first product focuses on retention through resources and support. I created a website that gives access to this asset directly for teachers. With an easy and approachable sign-in process and intuitive and friendly navigation with encouraging welcome messages, this site acts as a safe place for teachers. The website uses soft brand colors and patterns with images in an engaging and interesting way. The mentorship portal gives teachers direct access to experienced Stark certified mentors. Included is a messaging element where they can receive real-world answers to questions by their chosen mentors. There are additional resources throughout the learning portal, which gives access to an extensive library with helpful videos made by these Stark certified educators. My second product is based on empowerment through accessibility to information and is speaking directly to the public. To do this, I curated a series of 3 large-scale signs meant to be displayed together in a public place like a school or a side of a building on a popular street. The first sign uses an inspiring quote about teachers with bold typography and an eye-catching pop of orange with compelling imagery along with hand-drawn line. The second displays statistics using contrast with bright brain colors highlighting the data over an image of a dark gray brick wall. Image and hand-drawn lines are used again with a quote from a real NC teacher about the problems they face. The last sign brings in color again and bold typography to tell the viewer the steps on how to take an initiative to help solve the problem. Here our barcodes are used for direct and easy access to some of these resources. My third product's goal is to evoke emotion and present information. I created a short reel animation for the brand's social media account. The clip juxtaposes the teacher's special ability to change a person's life with poor teacher working conditions they face. I used collected quotes from real North Carolina teachers affected, in addition to statistics. This video uses elements from my previous 2 products like imagery, hand-drawn line, and color and texture. In addition to some of these more lighthearted elements, transition and music were brought in to create a more dramatic effect, highlighting the seriousness of these issues. This video is a call to action in promoting of the brand and its motivations. In closing, there is an urgent need for teacher advocacy in North Carolina. Educators hold some of the most important positions in society, yet are being overlooked. Stark was designed to raise awareness about these fixable issues, advocate for our teachers, and help them at the source. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Melissa Hernandez, and I'm here to talk to you about the school-to-prison pipeline. The school-to-prison pipeline happens when schools criminalize minor infractions that result in student exposure to the criminal justice system. Schools are hiring more police officers and counselors, which causes instances such as this to happen.
You don't want to? No, please. You have to. No, please. Give me a second chance.
This was a 6-year-old girl getting arrested at school. Her whole life changed because the school decided to criminalize her rather than help her. In Charlotte, on average, 1 in 5 Black students and 1 in 6 Latino students get suspended, and after just 1 suspension, their risk of being incarcerated in the future significantly increases. I come from a Latino family, and my brother is a middle schooler in a public school. After talking to him of his experiences and frustrations, I decided to create Educate, Don't Incarcerate. The logo features the silhouette of a child and a light bulb making up the dot and the letter I, since the goal is to shed light and spread awareness to prevent more children from being affected. Black, orange, and blue are used as the dominant colors. The orange references prison jumpsuits, while the blue references the color of police uniforms. A key factor behind the school-to-prison pipeline is the amount of spending that is done on incarceration rather than education. The poster campaign was made to vividly show information concerning the issue in public spaces and to display statistics surrounding the rate children are incarcerated. I took the photographs for these posters at a school and playground at night to capture how this issue is happening, yet many are kept in the dark about. By focusing on how often children are incarcerated here, alongside the budget per student, these posters call into question the system and how it is failing them. For the second product, I designed an informational brochure targeted towards parents that informs them of the issue. It breaks down information alongside a visual of the pipeline to show how suspensions have led to the prison population being disproportionately Black and Latino. A section focuses on the right a child has if suspended, at risk of academic failure, or if stopped by an officer at school. The brochure is also in Spanish so that the language barrier does not prevent parents from knowing what is going on. It unfolds into a poster that uses yellow as an accent color to inspire change. Finally, the social media campaign was made to share the stories of different children and spread further information using short video clips and images. The video clips are all 10 seconds or less and make the information easily shareable. The children are at the center of this campaign, and the names are changed from stories shared to protect their privacy and security. The posts also show information of petitions and resources in the captions. Educate, Don't Incarcerate was made to shed light on an ongoing issue that unfairly affects children of color and children in low-income areas. to spread awareness that they deserve to have proper education without the threat of incarceration. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Angelina Palacios, and today I'd like to talk to you about the Latino small business community in Charlotte, North Carolina. Latino entrepreneurs are growing exponentially in our city. According to the Latin Chamber of Commerce in Charlotte, the establishment of these businesses are growing up to 80% each year. Yet it becomes harder for them to thrive as a small business. Existing tools like third-party delivery apps that are meant to help tend to do little to no good. For example, up to a third of the product's profits can be pocketed by big companies like this. I felt it was important to address this as businesses of color deserve the right to grow and thrive. So I'd like to introduce Apoyala. It means support her. The brand was developed to express the bold, intense flavor of the Latino community. The core values of this campaign are apoyo, pasión, and cultura. Its logo consists of swirls meant to represent the long-standing connection that it has to strength and femininity. Apoyala calls the audience to action, brings awareness to the problem, and exposes them to the benefits of supporting a local business of color that they otherwise would not be made aware of. I've designed an app that guides new local business supporters in the direction of who to support. Users can leave reviews, add pictures, and it allows for businesses to get in touch with people that they know are supportive of their ventures. It also features weekly highlights of businesses that coincide with the weekly social media highlights and an option to explore the app in Spanish to enhance accessibility. The Instagram campaign features weekly highlights which convey the business owners' personalities and passion for their businesses. The product also expresses Latina flavor by its use of shareable content meant to be posted to individual users' pages so that they can get the message of Apoyala out to more audiences. The shareable content is intended to be fun, flashy, and relatable to Latinx audiences and Instagram users. Lastly, Apoyala will provide small business supporters with a physical takeaway in the form of reusable shopping bags. Its main purpose will be to encourage people to buy small. It will include Spanish and English phrases with a tag attached that gives them information on supporting Latina businesses in Charlotte. It is sustainable and handmade to coincide with the businesses that this campaign is targeting to support. My goal was to provide a platform for Latino entrepreneurs to thrive on. The main takeaway I hope for people to gain is that supporting small businesses are imperative if this culture of the city is to thrive. Thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Avery, and today I'll be discussing how depression and anxiety levels in teens have grown over the past few years. According to a 2019 Mecklenburg County Health Assessment, about 31% of all high school students that were diagnosed with depression have ignored doing any sort of extracurricular activity. This includes meeting up with friends, going out to eat, or anything that is considered fun for them. As you can imagine, the pandemic has dramatically increased this percentage. Many teens are now more likely to be staying at home, which can increase their symptoms of anxiety like self-isolationism and antisocial behavior. Many parents have sought to find counselors or prescribe medication for their teens, yet both options are usually very expensive. That is where my campaign, #GrowingGoals, comes into place. The color palette chosen throughout the campaign uses many earth tone colors in order to give the viewer a calm, outdoor perspective when looking at this campaign. This particular font was chosen to stand out to the viewer as being more personal to relate with teens' interactivity with sketching or handwriting. This campaign aims to not only raise awareness for teens and young adults, but also seeks to directly aid these groups and their parents as well. The trading cards were designed to give monthly tasks for each teen to help relieve their levels of anxiety or depression. These tasks include going out with your friends, taking some time to exercise, buying yourself a gift, and more. Any card can be traded with other high schoolers if one chooses to try a different task for a different month. In order to help advertise the campaign and the services it provides, I designed 3 different billboards. These are primarily aimed at parents if they feel they are being slowly disconnected from their teens. The billboards seek to communicate with the audience and ask how they are feeling about their teens' mental health. Every billboard will also advertise our Instagram page. All of our posts not only give brief details about how other teens/young adults have dealt with their own obstacles, but also give the viewers some tips on some exercises that they can try out to ease their depression or anxiety. For example, if you or your teen has been dealing with anxiety attacks recently, our posts provide you with some tips on some breathing exercises to help decrease the chances of your teen having another panic attack. Thank you for your time, and make sure to keep your goals growing.
Hello, my name is Jada Pompey, and my topic is gentrification in the Black community in Charlotte, North Carolina. The nature of gentrification in America has been a controversial topic because it generates significant community displacement and housing affordability disparity. Gentrification has been the source of painful conflict along racial and economic lines in many major cities throughout history. Displacing a Race is my campaign to educate the Black community of various effects that gentrification has caused throughout history of Charlotte. According to Charlotte Mecklenburg Library, in 1960, the Urban Renewal Program demolished nearly every home, school, business, and church in Brooklyn Village. The bus stop infographic shows a photo composition of Black communities erased using red, black, and neutral colors to capture the significance of the design. The infographics demonstrates the intentional racism that Charlotte has committed to the Black community from past to present. For Poster 1, I incorporated the definition of gentrification with the statistics of eviction risk and a visual representation of where Brooklyn used to be. For Poster 2, I compiled a list of affected neighborhoods with a short history of the Urban Renewal Program, followed by a map of Brooklyn that I designed with X'd out streets indicating that they are no longer present. To inform the community about gentrification, I've created a trifold brochure that will be mailed to the elderly in the Black neighborhoods. The brochure contains the definition of gentrification, displacement, and redlining, a brief history about Brooklyn Village, and a list of neighborhoods that are gentrified and erased in Charlotte. I've designed an Instagram campaign that features posts from the community by telling their stories and sharing their quotes about gentrification in their neighborhoods. This allows the Black community to post their experience about dealing with the changes that gentrification caused in their lives. I encourage the Black community to learn more about gentrification and explore ways to preserve their neighborhoods.
Hi, my name is Skylar Pero Strong. The community that I've chosen to talk about is single mothers who live in the Charlotte area. According to the Economic Policy Institute, the prices of childcare have increased exponentially amid the pandemic, costing about $10,000 per year for only one child. Lone parents lack the access to a wide range of childcare and financial resources, which play a pivotal role in the early development of children. The purpose of Mama Bear and Cub is to create an accessible and empowering environment for single mothers to find financial assistance, contact child care providers, and connect with other women through shared experiences. When I interviewed a few mothers in the community, some of the most common stresses they faced were financial hardships and time scarcity. Many of them struggled to balance spending quality time with their child and working to support their child. This cycle seems to prevent this community from acquiring financial freedom. Mama Bear and Cub employs a logo that displays a mother bear walking with her cub on her back, showing her strength and resilience as she treks along while also supporting her young one. This acknowledges the single mothers in our community who parent the best way they can for their children. The vibrant goldenrod and fuchsia captures the essence of a mama bear and represent a sense of liveliness, confidence, positivity, and support. Mama Bear and Cub is a networking app that allows mothers to connect with other single moms around the area and join new conversations that provide a plethora of information ranging from political activism for financial opportunities to tips on finding the right daycare. The app also includes a list of all the childcare providers around the Charlotte area. Mothers have the option to scroll through the list and personally reach out to any of the certified daycare providers, nannies, and babysitters, and vice versa. As many single mothers work more than one job, they're constantly bustling around the city. The print media campaign is composed of 3 posters that will be placed on bus stops and billboards throughout the Charlotte area to attract the on-the-go moms. These out-of-home banners encourage mothers and nannies to join the app and advocate for financial and societal change through political actions. Many local churches and organizations such as WIC and ESME do not market their benefits, which prevents mothers from utilizing their resources. The 30-second public service announcement aims to raise awareness for those organizations. The commercial will be played on TVs during the early hours of the morning and later in the evening to work around mothers' busy schedules. Being the daughter of a single mother, I empathize with them and designed Mama Bear and Cub to raise awareness about the ongoing challenges they endure, as well as act on the injustices. To end this presentation, we're going to start with the commercial. Thank you.
If it wasn't word of mouth, I probably would never heard of certain things that goes on in Charlotte. She wants to do gymnastics, she wants to do cheerleading, and Girl Scouts, and swim lessons. That means I have to work overtime to even pay for those things. And what that means I don't have time for her anymore.
Thank you, Mama.
Hello, my name is Vishal Nair, and for my senior research project, I decided to focus on the low-income immigrant community in Charlotte. Charlotte has been one of America's fastest growing cities, with the total population of the city increasing 9% between 2015 and 2020. Amongst those who moved to settle in Charlotte are immigrants, more specifically low-income immigrant families. Acclimating to a new city is already hard, and for immigrant families this process is even harder due to language and cultural barriers. Low-income immigrant households face food insecurity and lack the access to get help from existing resources in Charlotte due to language barriers. To address this issue, I designed 3 products to help the affected community by raising awareness and directly helping the community. Having recognized language barrier as a primary cause, I designed with consideration to accessibility and language. To help fight food insecurity amongst low-income immigrant families, I came up with the campaign Healthy Move. Healthy Move's campaign consists of 3 products that help get immigrant families in touch with resources in their area, as well as spread awareness about the issue to the general city population. Healthy Move was designed with a slab serif and sans serif typeface for legibility. Colors included light variations of yellow, green, and red to set a hopeful and happy tone for the campaign. My first product was a cookbook titled Cooking on a Budget. The cover design included a simple collage design made with images of money and ingredients. The first page of the book opens up with a message about why this book was made, available in both English and Spanish. The table of contents was designed with 2 types of recipes, those that can be made under $20 and those that can be made under $10. Recipes made under $10 are listed next to the red numbers, while those made under $20 are listed next to the yellow numbers, with the recipe names translated in both English and Spanish. Vegetarian recipes are underlined with a bold green dash. The recipe pages were designed with ingredients, time, size, and instruction sections, all available in both English and Spanish. My second product was a pair of posters that aimed to raise awareness about the food insecurity problem as well as resources available to help. The first poster shares a fact about food insecurity in America and is accompanied by a creative graphic that helps visualize the fact. A call to action is included on the bottom of the poster, urging audiences to donate to food pantries. The second poster appeals to an immigrant audience, with the poster being designed in Spanish. The poster includes an attention-getting header accompanied by 4 food pantries to get help from. My third product is a community app that allows low-income immigrant households to get in touch with resources in the area to get meals and groceries. The users enter the app and select the language along with whether or not they are donating or receiving food. They then complete the setup process by entering their family size, allergies, and location. The app then proceeds to take them to their meals dashboard, where the user can find free meals or resources in the area. Users can visit the organization's page and save the organization's events onto their own calendar. The personal calendar can be used to plan meals in advance so families aren't left wondering if they have to worry about food to come. To conclude, Healthy Move was designed to mainly bridge the gap that language and culture pose on immigrant families. I believe this gap creates the problems that are mainly involved in the food insecurity issue here in Charlotte.
Hi, my name is Kevin Koo, and I want to discuss the mental health of long-stay pediatric patients and how play therapy plays an important role for kids. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention states that the developmental stage in childhood is extremely crucial. Mental disorders such as ADHD, anxiety problems, behavior problems, and depression developed in childhood can have a negative impact on their futures. There are different kinds of treatments for pediatric mental health problems. Among these treatments is play therapy. It helps children develop their social skills and language skills by overcoming obstacles that lead up to growth and development. Play therapy can consist of board games, drawing materials, building blocks, and storybooks. Being an ex-pediatric patient myself, I came to realize that I wanted to help those who share the same story as me by designing a campaign that caters to children. With my brand Play Buddies, I aim to inspire and inform pediatric patients to stay positive by making interactive game posters, an animation, and an app with multiple functions that help with mental health. By designing 3 different aspects of this campaign, it creates a fun variety of options for the patients to directly engage with each product and also work with friends, family, and nurses. Play Buddies introduces friendly characters with personalities and identities that are easily recognizable to children. I use 4 of the basic colors, blue, yellow, green, and red, and different tints of them to keep it consistent and exciting. The interactive posters consist of adjustable activities that address mental health and are designed using brand's characters. The purpose of these posters is to be physically used and then placed in the hospital room for children to continue using. The hospital will provide these along with extra pads of worksheets so that the patient can switch out the old worksheet for a new one. Making a physical object allows the patient to be able to work with others. The animation is designed in a way where the storyline is relatable and kid-friendly. Not only are the brand's characters portrayed in the video, but it uses the activity poster as a recognizable object to remind the patients that they could use it with others to build up their mood. Lastly, the app is designed to customize your avatar, speak with your personal therapist, call the nurse for help, play minigames, unlock free items, and use other resource links to benefit mental health. Playing the minigames will earn them in-game currency known as heart points. Using these heart points, they can unlock customizable features for their avatar, and also unlock the latest versions of the activity posters. If they go to the Resources tab, the link for the YouTube channel that shows the animation is there, as well as links to learn more about mental health and why it matters. This campaign uses play as its solution and captures it perfectly through the use of kid-friendly characters, a playful color palette, and interactive features. This brand would be accessible to all hospitals in Charlotte and would be beneficial for long-stay pediatric patients. Thank you, and I appreciate your time.
Hi, my name is Kelly Gilbert, and the community that I'll be talking about today is North Carolina residents of color affected by environmental racism.
We will not allow Warren County
Environmental racism is a form of
site.
systemic injustice where communities of color are disproportionately impacted by pollution and health hazards. Historic racist practices of redlining have pushed many people of color into undesirable areas in eastern North Carolina. These areas with low property value are often chosen as the sites of landfills, hazardous waste facilities, and concentrated animal feeding operations, which contaminate waterways and perpetuates the socioeconomic devaluation of predominantly non-white areas. I created Ecofuge to make environmental justice more attainable by connecting communities with resources and petitions calling for equitable policies. When developing this campaign, a driving force that catalyzed the design process was the typeface Martin, created by Vocal Type Co., a type foundry of Black designers that aim to diversify the design industry by developing typefaces inspired by the history of underrepresented groups. I developed the color palette of the campaign by exploring the hues of various substances in concentrated animal feeding operations. Many of the lagoons that contain animal waste are an alarming shade of magenta. The waste from these lagoons seeps into the waterways of neighboring communities, polluting their main source of drinking water. Having access to resources is necessary for alleviating environmental burdens from these communities. I created a mobile app that concentrates information, petitions, and nonprofit organizations centered around environmental justice. With the app, users can sign petitions related to a host of issues impacting minority communities, including CAFOs, landfills, and coal ash. Additionally, users can discover local and statewide organizations, use the calendar to find events in their area, as well as organize and promote their own workshops. On the Resources tab, users can find documentaries, articles, and databases tracking pollution in their area. The best way to push toward environmental protection is to put pressure on the state to impose stricter regulations on industrial farms and power plants. I developed a set of postcards addressed to state representatives that residents can sign to call for changes in environmental policies. The front of each card has striking yet informative messaging. On the back, residents can find letters pre-addressed to their representative based on their district. The postage is prepaid so that residents can simply sign their name and mail the postcard. Finally, I created a series of posters that calls attention to issues prevalent in minority communities impacted by pollution. The posters utilize jarring imagery and bold typography to underscore various health hazards created by coal ash and CAFOs. Ecofuge was designed to advocate for affected minority groups and consolidate the efforts of various environmental justice organizations working towards systemic change.